Ah, what's up, everybody? This is a very loving episode of well, just a little tiny tidbit of we're going to talk about Loki, a Loki discussion about Loki, the series about Loki, with three amigos, Brian, Dave, and Ray.
Can we change the title to a Loki discussion about Loki, a series about Sylvie? Can we just change it to that? Subvert expectations, like
Yeah.
get the audience guessing.
Well, is it really though? If we think about it, because it's still the main driver is still Loki.
I mean, she's still
And his
Loki.
continued growth, which is what I found most surprising, is I thought he had reached the apex, the end of the line of the Loki redemption arc. But still, we see further evolution, which I think points to Loki continuing to survive past this show into the rest of the universe. And we're going to see him again in the second saga, whatever they choose to call it.
I don't
You mean
know.
the Loki's Dead saga? Yeah, I don't think he's surviving
not.
next episode at all.
He's not expensive. He doesn't have to be a main character like he was in it, but I think he'll be on like the periphery, like showing up as a supporting character in other movies, like with Strange.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it going either way. I could see this setting it up where he becomes the new uh, sacred timeline Loki, and he's allowed back into the time stream along with Sylvie as Enchantress, and they go forward. Or I can see this being, they've talked a lot about pre-destiny and like how Loki's job is always to die, and so maybe he has to sacrifice himself, even with that knowledge, and do the complete selfless act to save, the save everything, in this next episode. I don't know. I could go either way with it. I'm not sure.
So you think he found his glorious purpose in the old arc, and then now it's kind of like, all right, he's like, he found it, and then when he found it, it's like his untimely death, I guess, would be his glorious purpose. Maybe,
Well,
but then
there's two things.
it's like, what do we have now?
That's going on here that pull in different directions that tell you that can inform both endings. One, he fulfilled his purpose, which is again exactly what Mobius said, which is you need to fail to push a hero up. That's your goal. He said it in like the first episode when he met him. That's why he failed against the Avengers, but it was his scheme that pulled them together. So we had heroes. Like Lokis are always supposed to have a scheme to push a hero forward, which is the same thing. Loki causes Ragnarok. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about like Norse mythology as well. He's also the cause of change in any type of universe that he touches. So if you want to go a little bit further and touch on that, you can. But we also have the knowledge that Loki doesn't have, or the character doesn't have, that Tom Hiddleston's really popular and Disney's willing to pay him. So we know that there is a chance that he's still going to be around. I mean, both ways, it points to a lot of what the show is about is not true. Once you find out the TVA is a scheme, so a lot of what they said before doesn't really,
Are you saying that, like, yeah, I agree with, like, you were, I mean, it's kind of like, I'm not saying I'm like a galaxy brain here, but like Loki was always like the one who, like, his evil actions brought about good by like elevating the heroes, like you said, and they said in the show. But in this episode, at the end, we saw him be the hero, like with the other Loki. But the other Lokis are hilarious. Crocodile Loki or alligator Loki, like the old school style. I imagine that's from like an older comic where he was like
that's classic.
Classic Loki.
Yeah.
Where he like had that crazy, like he was a hero. Like he was like, yeah, we're gonna go do our thing, but then he came back and was like had that illusion thing and gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh my god! I think he sacrificed himself
Asgard
to be a
out
hero.
of nothing. Like,
yeah,
here's the entire city of Asgard for you to devour. And
that was Richard E. Grant, by the way.
Yeah.
Who's that?
The MVP of the episode is what he is.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed his little arc in the episode. It was very good.
That was dope. Oh my god, I just want to say, like, before I forget, because I will, the Thanos copter in the background.
Oh
That was
yeah,
hilarious.
Thanos
That was
copter.
great.
Did you catch
I
Frog
imagine there was
Thor?
tons of them, but
Either Yellow Jacket or Wasp's helmet that came from Dave.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a ton of Easter
yeah,
eggs in this
There was a
episode here.
I knew there was
helicarrier.
so
There
much
was
I
a
was
downed
missing.
helicarrier in the
Yeah, there
background at
was a
one point.
Oh,
helicarrier down. One of the, I think, Ronan's ship, the Dark Aster, was in the background as well as a
Oh
lot,
wow.
a
Yeah, it
lot of
was.
references to
Mhm.
Kang in the background, which is why
Oh
I
really?
now think, after talking with Dave, that it's not Kang. It's too spelled out at this point. The Sphinx in the
Yeah,
background with the
Who it
pyramid
is?
is
Mhm.
uh, uh yeah, that a ton, just a ton of Easter eggs for it. If you're into comics and you know what's coming up, so I'm willing to bet they're going to subvert expectations again.
yeah.
I just knew about
They might
Thanos copter
swerve
from the
you.
memes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
I have the hero click of Thanos copter.
really?
Yeah.
Dear God. Yeah, I have to think. I think, especially after the last episode, where I liked it, but like not a whole lot really happened until the very end. It was cool to have like just this wild packed episode with cool stuff happening in it, and new characters. I loved it. The part where the Lokis came into like the secret bunker, and then they like he was like, "This is my army, and we're gonna fight you," or whatever. And then everyone
Uh,
betrays each other. Like I didn't expect it to come
uh,
for some reason, but when it happened, I was like, "Oh, yeah, duh. Of course that would happen. That makes sense." But that was
I
hilarious.
love when Mobius starts seeing all the Lokis there, and he's like, "You could throw a rock and hit a Loki."
That's a good impression. I was glad Mobius is back, and I love the bromance that they had developed. Like, oh man, and then the part where Loki's like, "Goodbye, my friend." I literally was tearing up. Like before Mobius steps
uh,
into the time
uh,
thing, I was like,
when
That
he
was a good bro
when he
moment.
asks what are you gonna do, and then he repeats what like Loki said when he first got there, that he was gonna burn it to the ground. I'm gonna burn it to the ground. You know, like,
"That
yeah.
was such a good episode."
All of you leave Owen Wilson alone. That character's magic in this show.
Oh yeah, he's really good. I love
Wow.
him. Owen Wilson can do no
His
wrong.
his younger brother's in a DC show.
Yep, that's Stargirl, one of the better ones. Don't shake your head, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's a good show.
So, yep.
I
You
watched a
lost
few
me at
episodes. It
D,
was nice.
I'm sorry.
except
What'd you
for
say, Jeremy?
Suicide Squad. You lost me at D's.
It doesn't matter what you said. Okay.
D's nuts. Got him.
That one was for
Anyway, this is
Dave, by
about
the way.
the Superior universe. Yeah. So the ending, is that a reference? Like it's a like a chateau with like some sort of like lighthouse thing at the end of time. Does that mean anything to
Um,
you guys?
We've
does
heard
it ring a
everything
bell at
from
all?
Doctor Doom to Kang to whatever, but
Yeah,
It's the
everybody's
uh,
got wild ideas.
you know,
it's the restaurant at the
if
end
you
of the
think about
universe.
it, sure, it could be that.
Is that a
You
real
know,
thing?
Yeah,
yeah,
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's a
Oh, okay. I
series
was
that you
like,
should read.
I read the first one.
Yeah.
I gotta read them all. But anyway, I don't. It could
I'll get
even
on
be
that.
another Loki. Like they get all the way
That's
there,
true.
and it's another Loki.
So does
Yeah,
everybody have a theory?
No,
like
I'm just along for the ride
I'm
at this point.
undecided. I, I have plenty
Miss
of theories.
My
Miss Cherry
theory,
upstairs believes that it's a Loki. Or
yeah,
actually, she believes it's a Kang. I believe it's a Loki.
I'm with
Um,
you, Ray. I believe it's a Loki. I believe Owen Wilson himself might be either a variant of Loki or a variant of the guy who created the TVA. The
yeah,
original guy that's
yeah.
on the posters with the mustache. I'm like, it looks a lot like Mobius. And
Now, what if they bust through that door and inside is like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, like at a table
Creating the
creating the
characters.
timeline.
That'd be so
That would
fourth
go
wall
really
breaking. Holy
meta, and I
shit.
don't know how the hell you come back from that. It
You
would be
Yeah,
don't,
think about
but
it at
awesome.
some point.
and like he just turns around, he's like, "Hello, true believers, Excelsior!"
That,
Oh my
you know
god.
what? Don't break my heart all over again, man. They did
Uh,
that Avengers retrospective for Stan Lee with all of his cameos, and I like
yeah.
she couldn't sit through it, and I was like all tearing up and stuff. Don't start with me on this, okay? Shit.
But who better to manipulate the timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Okay, maybe it's just Kevin Feige.
Yeah, it's Kevin
sitting,
Feige in a
It's
sitting in a
director's chair.
throne.
What if it's
Yeah.
what if it's the
Yeah.
No, a
Beyonder?
giant throne that's shaped like a director's chair. He's just sitting
What
there.
if they get there and it's like somebody like the Beyonder?
It won't be.
Yeah, I
All
don't
right,
know if
here's the
they'd
thing.
jump
For good
beyond it.
They
storytelling
can't
to take
introduce
place,
someone, right?
they would have already had to introduce the villain. Okay. The only people that we've met so far are Renslayer, Morbius, and all the Lokis. That's why I'm leaning towards, for cohesive storytelling, it to be a Loki. It could, however, you're absolutely right, Brian. It could be another version of Mobius that is the dude that started it, which would be really cool too. You
Well,
know,
Mobius loop, right?
in the comics, Mobius is the dude that makes it to the end of time for the Timekeepers to send him back to go and create the TVA retroactively so they end up here. Okay? It's a stupid
Oh,
comic. It's a dumb yeah, cross your eyes all you want because I did too when I read this storyline. It's dumb. Like a lot of
I
that's why I was like the TVA, this is such a dumb storyline, but they did
That's why
really
I threw
well with
out the
it.
Mobius theory.
Yeah. It's a good theory. I like it.
Yeah, it could definitely happen. I did just pick up. I haven't read through it yet, but last time I was at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, I picked up the first mention of the TVA in comics. It was one of their wall books.
Was
So
that is that in Fantastic Four?
no, it's actually a Thor comic.
Thor
Um,
comic, okay.
hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, that
but
makes
I
sense. I know the Fan 4 has had a lot of run-ins with them, so I thought they might have started there.
I think you
But
mean
yeah.
the god from space. Doesn't need to
All
take
right.
an ibuprofen. That's a cross. That's if you want to learn
Yep.
about that reference, check out the next episode
Where we
of
talk
Let the
about
Party
Black Widow.
podcast,
There you go. See?
or a bonus. We'll do a bonus or something. That way, Brian doesn't have to sit out. Um, I'm just now I'm on a my brain's on a
So
different tangent. Just thinking about someone else.
here's what I want. I want
Uh,
Sylvie and Kid Loki to come to our timeline because she would fulfill the Enchantress's spot, and Kid Loki would be completely accurate. That kid is comic accurate to Kid Loki in the comics, like down to the haircut. Dead serious. If you
yeah.
put his picture and the picture from any of the comic panels that joins the Young Avengers, that is whoa accurate, like scary accurate.
he's in the
And
Young
I would love
Avengers.
to see that. I'm sorry.
Is he in the Young
Who?
Avengers? Is that what you said? Kid Loki.
Yeah. Hmm.
Man, they're really telegraphing that, aren't they?
Well, they're also telegraphing a couple of other things too, which we'll get into in the more full episode. But yeah,
Okay.
I would really like it if that
Um,
were the case.
my brain is just crossed now with the Black Widow. Yeah. So I guess
Loki.
the next episode is gonna be like
It's
I
the
like
last
how
one.
they ended it, where they parted it, and then you see like the chateau thing, which is
Hmm.
super cool. Like the effect. I think we're taking. I mean, not personally. I am not like a lot of other shows. The effects and everything, like the stuff they do in that, cheesy. This is like movie quality special effects, which is
Really
crazy
is.
because we're getting so used to seeing that now on TV, where like other shows are going to be like send the standard. I mean, HBO has always had good effects as well, so it's like, but this is I feel
They
like
have
Yeah,
for
not
the
always
masses
had good effects. Let's
or
put it that way.
recently, I guess.
Yeah, I
Lovecraft is
mean,
fine. Um,
before you got to remember before Game of Thrones, there was Tales from the Crypt. So
Which was terrible. Like
terribly
the
awesome though.
the yes, terribly awesome. I mean, like green rotoscope special effects as opposed to green screen. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Well,
but let's go.
the fact is now people know that they have to spend money to make money, and when it comes to Disney Plus, they have that baked in. They know that they can spend X amount. I mean, that's why
and they have it to
Mandalorian has
spend.
made leaps and bounds in advancements in special effects, especially with their like dome. Like you don't get that show, I don't think, on the budget they make it at without that technology. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like they're they're creating whole new industries around the fact that they have Disney Plus money. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like that,
that's
and
good
that's
though.
oh,
You know,
absolutely, because we get quality shows like WandaVision and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and um uh,
Uh,
and then Loki.
nemesis.
So and
Right.
Mandalorian. You don't
Oh
you
yeah,
don't get
not to
those
mention Star
shows
Wars. Yeah.
without the business model that is Disney Plus.
Hmm.
hmm
So shut up and take my money all day, every day for Disney Plus.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's do since we can't do full. We a lot of us did theories. Let's do this right now before you see the finale. Where do you rank Loki out of the 3 Marvel shows that came
I was
out?
about to ask that because this episode
All the way up.
especially put me. Yeah, I was gonna say this one elevated it to I think it's my favorite so far.
All the
This
way up.
episode just like shot it all the way. I was like,
Okay.
I think it
Top
reaches
of
a
the
new
list.
like emotional
I don't know if it's this is the
highs.
shiny new toy that makes me want to put it up there, or if it's I think I like them all for different reasons. I liked
And I'm not saying,
WandaVision for
yeah.
the conversations that it created around the weekly episodes.
Sure.
I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier for the substance, for the cultural substance of it.
That's true.
And I think I like this one for like the pure entertainment, like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, this is very
You
very
know,
reminiscent of Thor Ragnarok. So you'd
yeah,
put this
like
at the top
so.
as well, sir? I'm just saying
Yeah,
we should do it before and after because after we see the finale, it might change our minds.
It's
Uh,
true. Finales
that's
are
true.
tenuous.
Yeah, this is still number 2 for me. I connected more with the characters in Captain America: Winter Soldier, the story that they had there. I'm not a big fan of the TVA. I enjoy the wackiness, so it's a very close to. I don't want to make it seem like bah, nothing
Right.
like that. This is a
Well,
very
that's where
close
I'm
to.
at.
Yeah,
Just flipped. Just because I love Thor Ragnarok, and
Yeah.
this feels like a sequel to that follows
It's like my
Loki.
second.
it does almost. It
Yeah.
really it has that flair to it. It's got that little bit of vibe, and it's making fun of itself often enough that
Right.
it does definitely feel like the spin-off off of Ragnarok or something like that, even
Yeah,
And
when
and
they're
the
not
exotic
like.
locations off world, like we're
Yeah,
seeing other,
it's got
other aliens, we're seeing other timelines. Like it's a little bit of everything. So
Loki's a bit more comic book adjacent than to me than the rest of them. You know what I mean? It's good. It's got that feeling. You know what I mean? It brings you back right to like comic books. The stuff in the comic books. I mean,
out of all 3, the one that that I could see myself actually reading like as a comic book growing up would have probably been WandaVision. uh Closest accurate comic book wise, like that. They tell these types of stories in comic books. When they say comic books aren't for kids anymore, that's because somewhere in the 90s we
yeah.
started getting stories like WandaVision and The Killing Joke and things like that, where they
House
explored
of
different aspects of superheroes.
House of M was great.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff, and I could see like WandaVision being more like a graphic novel, self-enclosed story, than I could the other 2. Like, don't get me wrong, Falcon and the Winter Soldier really does strike me as, oh, this is this artist's run in Captain America. Dave will know exactly what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
you get certain
Yeah.
runs in comic books, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what that felt like.
Yeah.
Loki feels like it could only be made on TV for some reason to me, as
Mm,
opposed to being in a book. And I could be completely wrong. I'm just
I
stating my opinion here.
I
You
disagree with
know,
that, but yeah, I see what you mean. But I think I think Loki is the most one that I would see in a comic book before the other ones. Um, Loki's at the top for me, and Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision are like neck and neck for number 2. So like I wouldn't be able to choose between the two for number 2. But it just Loki has a bit of everything in there. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
they have some of the fantasy element. They have like you know I don't know. It's just
sci-fi, time travel,
hmm
Sure.
multiple locations, Armageddon's.
Yeah, I really like how they took a character that's been there for like really such a long time. The Avengers came out or Thor. He was in Thor, right? The first one
He was in Thor.
that came out
Yep.
what almost 10 years ago. Yeah, what 10 years ago? Because he said he was like 30 when he was recording
It
that, and
came
then
out.
or
I think it came out 2 years after the OG Iron Man did.
yeah, so almost 10 years, right around there. And I remember watching or trying to watch because I couldn't finish it because it's kind of not aged as well as I hoped. The Avengers, the older one, the first Avengers movie, where Loki is such a huge
I don't get him
asshole
either.
and he like murders a dude just like straight up murder someone. And then now, like fast forward to 10 years, it's like the reverse Breaking Bad, where he's like this huge evil or this pretty dickish evil guy, and then now he's been turned into like a guy that's like making me tear up because he's like my friend. Like it's such a it's pretty cool. I like how they took a character we thought was done growing, like his story had like basically ended, and then like
Hmm.
took it to another like place, which I thought was really cool. They can still do that. So yeah, I really like this one. I think also the advantage it has over I think WandaVision was I imagine they're able to learn a little bit since they produced that, and then also I think the episode length, like the 6 episodes. I mean, I obviously want more, but I think with the 6, it kept it more tightly focused than WandaVision perhaps was.
Isn't
I
Loki
think it
also
could have
going 40 minutes at 6 episodes? Whereas WandaVision, we had
30 to
shorter
40.
Loki could have
bursts.
definitely been a movie if you would have just cut it a little differently.
I don't know. I feel like it's
This
so
could have
chock
been
full of things, and like
uh,
the way they do the
well,
serialized, where like the episode ends with something, and then you have a week to wait to the next thing. Um, I don't know.
I mean, it would
That's
be
fair.
a 3 hour and 20-minute movie probably,
Yeah.
but it could have been cut down to a movie.
It feels like less
I
of a slow burn than WandaVision was, which is fine for the show. I just enjoy this one more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it could have been a tight 3 hour movie, and which would have been fine. But I prefer this. I like the added bonus of having the.
I
I almost
wonder if
prefer.
you get a different take from it if you just kind of sat in isolation and waited for everything to come out, then binged it. Like if you get a different experience out of it.
Should ask my brother. He prefers to watch shows like that.
I feel like I would like because then you don't have that speculation period. Like we just went through what our thoughts for the next episode are.
Sure.
That time frame isn't a week long. It's 30 seconds long while you're saying like, no, skip to the next one. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know. I think it
I,
also dumbs down the experience a little bit
I think
because
I
you're
agree.
not left wondering. Your imagination doesn't spark up. You're just, oh, well, hit
yeah.
the next episode, get the answer, right? I
See
mean,
what happens. I
I
agree.
Yeah,
missed TV like that for a little bit. Like when you get that episodic or that seasonal kind of
yeah.
feel to it.
I know
When I
it's
binge
mostly for
shows,
like
I
business
put them on in
purposes,
the
but
background and do other stuff. So like, I don't even pay full attention when I'm binging. But if I'm watching one episode a week, then it's got my full attention in that 30, 40 hour, whatever, however long it is.
Yeah. We
I
actually do that here when we're watching TV. We won't watch like more than 2 or 3 episodes at a time, and that's on a weekend for 3 episodes. Like usually it's like 1 or 2 a week until we actually just consume the entire series or whatever it is or the season. That's usually how we do things, and it sparks a lot of conversation, which is good.
I think that's a lot the big reason behind like I mean I stopped watching TV like in college because no one has cable. We didn't have cable because no one used it. And then for a while there, really a lot of this interesting stuff was coming from Netflix. Like
Hmm.
you'd watch it on like a streaming service, and was never I binged a few shows for sure, mostly in high school. But then for a period of like it seems like a lot longer now, like 4 to 8 years, I just didn't watch any TV shows because like it would all drop at the same time. I'd be like, and then I started watching more HBO stuff because
Hmm.
like basically just Game of Thrones because it was once a week, like regular seasonal stuff. So I could same thing. I could like focus on it. I was more interested in it. I just
When season 8 happened.
I'm
yeah, we
sorry.
won't talk
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want to bring this episode down. All
The weekly
right.
stuff I would always save to like Sunday or something and watch them all on Sunday, and then
Yeah.
do it. And yeah, like
I'd spread my
but
shit out throughout the week. Like if a bunch of episodes came out on Wednesday, I'd be watching Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know what I mean? Like I'd spread them out over the course because I always got like an hour or whatever that I sit upstairs
right.
playing video games or watching TV. It's the same time for me. So
Mhm.
you know,
I feel like I'm engaged with social media a lot, like mostly Twitter and Instagram, but especially Twitter because everyone's talking about like every Friday. It's like trending topics is Loki or not Friday, Wednesday now.
hmm
Like the different shows. So like you want to be not like I don't like sheep thing. It sounds dumb, but like you want to get involved with the zeitgeist because it's cool talking to like random people about a shared interest and like getting excited about
Correct.
something. So I just like that experience is really cool. Like, oh shit, did you see that? And then you see a tweet, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Or like a cool Easter egg, or like, what about this theory? I avoid reviews because I don't know. I kind of don't want to taint. Like, I feel like when I read reviews or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That part wasn't that good. But overall, like I enjoyed it. So I haven't watched or read any reviews about Black Widow or anything like that because I'm like, I don't
I
care.
have certain sites that I go to because they're Easter egg hunters, like I am, to see how well I did.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I get surprised, like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that, or I would have had no idea that was an Easter egg. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of a gauge, but I don't actually check out reviews because I don't care what anybody else's opinion is.
Yeah, I'll check it for games. Only like two people because my opinions tend to align with theirs. We have like similar interests, so I'm like, oh, this, and they get to play it before I do generally, so they'll have an opinion formed first, like streamers and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, well, if he likes it, then I'm more than likely going to like it, or if he didn't like it, I'm not going to like it for these reasons. But
Yeah, but right now, everybody seems legit on Loki.
I think
So
so.
Marvel's riding high right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna
Mm.
say Black Widow came out. This is coming to a conclusion next week. So I think next week's going to be pretty crazy because they introduced like basically the final location, presumably at the very end. So there's like an entire episode we get to spend like figuring out and untangling this and like resolving it, which is fine because they don't have to uh, like do the fight, then get in there, then solve it in like 5 minutes or whatever. It's like
Mm.
I kind of like that.
I, I,
Like
I
that.
like the fact that you just went on a tangent about not reading or listening to reviews when we're in the middle of a review
Yeah, no,
right
people
now.
should listen to
So you're
me.
basically telling people not to listen
No,
to us.
listen to me. I had to keep
Uh,
myself sacrosanct, to avoid my purity being shifted. Like I don't need these
He
outside
means his
opinions
purity in so
influencing me.
many different ways right now. So,
I'm a born
oh,
again
that's been
virgin,
intact
everybody.
for about 4 years now. So.
wow. So Jeremy, I think
So
we've
hey, this is
I think
Dave's
we've
last episode, everybody. Let's all just
I'm
say
getting
goodbye.
married, and I
Let's,
yeah.
don't know if you
might
Congratulations,
guys
as
are.
well
sir.
be, am I right? That ball and chain.
Wow, is that
That
what you
just means
think
I
women
get
are?
it and you don't.
No,
That's all that
50s
means.
humor, boomer humor, baby. Let's go. Um, uh,
You think
yeah, I
4 years
don't
is
know.
bad? I've been 17 years. We've been waiting for marriage. So
Yeah,
Soon you'll do it.
it's a long ass time. I'm
I'm
so
really
happy for
excited
you.
for you.
Yeah, that's going to be very cool. However, Jeremy, I think we've exhausted the topic of Loki. I think we should let Dave go now.
yeah, I got to get out of here. I got to go buy some wedding
Get
rings or
married,
something. Get
the,
married.
the usual Saturday thing.
Stop at White
Um,
Castle to get lunch for my mom.
Didn't he already get
I'm
married
going. I'm going
yesterday?
to Red Robin. I can't complain today. So
Yeah, you
whatever.
can't.
I'm gonna eat chicken thighs and pasta.
Is that what's her name? I'm sorry.
Is that your nickname for chicken
Wow.
thighs? Nice, nice.
Dave, you did the did he do it for you yesterday? Was that yesterday or today?
No, no, it's today.
Oh, it's today. Okay.
Yeah.
After they record a real podcast, they're gonna do. Oh man, I just
Yeah, a
burned it.
podcast with more than 3 listeners.
Hey, why don't you close this podcast out since I asked you now
All right.
twice?
We never. This is Brian, Dave, and Ray. Thank you for coming. We kind of skipped right to it. Yeah, that's this low key discussion about Loki, the show about Sylvie. Full circle callback.
There you go.
Thank you for listening to this. If you want, this is coming out today, Saturday. I mean, tomorrow. We record these early for you guys.
Oh Jesus.
Saturday. You can listen to our regular podcast every Wednesday with good audio, or you can watch it with lesser audio, but you can see our faces if you want on Fridays. The regular episodes come out. So yeah, check us out there. Join the Discord. Link is in the description. Subscribe to Brian's OnlyFans. And that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for coming to the party. Peace.
Later, yo.
Bye.
Who says?